Hey guys, Rykanker777 here again. Today I'm not really addressing so much directly a DIY issue, as I am addressing a specific issue for Ford Contours, Mercury Mystiques, and Cougars. Cougars from 1999 to 2002 only. But some of the general knowledge in this video can probably be applied to just about any vehicle platform out there. So let's talk about brake calipers for a little bit. Well, this whole video really. Now, when your brake calipers, when you go to replace your brakes because they've been squealing or burning or smoking or anything, sometimes you find that your caliper has seized up and will not move. Your problem is not that anything is not that a lot is really rusted. It's just that seals have degraded. But time and time again, you'll go out to the auto parts store and get a remanufactured caliper for $60 to $100 and whatever dollars, which is around $50 to $60 on a Contour. So long as you don't have the E0 SVT. However, there is a cheaper option if you want to do the work. These are what are called brake rebuild kits. And what these contain are all the rubber components the brake piston slides along, and all the rubber components that seal the brake system, really, at the caliper end. Now, what one of these contains is a dust boot, a square cut seal, and in some cases a little rubber top for the bleeder valve. You get on each of these kits does one caliper, and it will cost you about $6 to $8 depending on what you buy and where you buy it. So all four corners of a car, you're going to end up paying about $24. That's a hell of a lot better than paying $240, isn't it? Well, those remanufactured calipers come with a bit more than just this stuff, right? So, let's take a brief look at and introduce you to brake caliper hardware kits. Now, all of the stuff that I've got here, I'm going to post part numbers for in the YouTube video. So if you're watching this embedded, just click on the YouTube video and follow the link to YouTube itself. If you're already on YouTube, just extend the info tab to view the part numbers. Now, when you get hardware kits, I recommend the Motocraft hardware kits for at least the CDW 27 brakes. And that is because they come with everything but the brake rebuild kits. For example, the fronts. With the fronts, you get, relatively simply, the two brand new caliper springs and 4 brand new dust pin boot, or guide pin dust boots. Sorry about that. Now, there's another option for fronts, which is actually cheaper, and if you don't need new springs, you can go for it, and that is the Wagner dust pin boots. And these are literally just dust pins. It's one caliper's worth. You're going to save about $6 by going with the Wagners, and you don't get the new springs. So, but you do get those nice little covers that keep all the dust out. Alright. On rear caliper hardware kits, I really recommend the Motocraft, because rear calipers on at least the Cougar and the Contour are a lot more parts intensive than front. Front is very simple. The front is a cylinder and some springs and some rubber guides and what have you. The rear, however, requires a much larger parts supply. In a rear hardware kit, you end up getting 2 anti-rattle springs. Make sure they are opposite when you open them up. If they are not, you're going to have some trouble. You'll receive 2 new guide pins. These guide pins actually bolt through this screw here, which is a separate part, to your caliper bracket. And your caliper itself slides along this ground surface here. You will also receive 2 pins for the other end of your caliper to slide along with the cotter pins to go with them, and the little stamped dealie that goes into the caliper that it slides on. Now, the biggest thing that it comes with, the most important thing probably, are these little dust boots. These little dust boots protect the guide pin, of course, as it's working and as you're just driving along. Now, if you notice, unlike the front caliper guide pin boots, which are all rubber, these are pressed in. These have a metal ring that's pressed into the caliper. This metal ring, when you remove it, becomes destroyed. When you remove the dust pin boot, the pin dust boot, whatever. So I coat a couple calipers per year, powder coat a couple of sets of calipers per year, and the process I use, it destroys the original the original pin dust boots on the rear. And so I end up using a lot of these, and they're relatively difficult to get in. I'll cover that in another video, but suffice to say, it's relatively expensive. They're relatively expensive, but the rear parts kit itself is only around $30, and you get all this hardware. Or you can go and buy the Wagner brand dust pin or rear dust boots, which is just the dust boots and the dust caps, for one caliper's worth. That's right, just one caliper, just like the front. The Wagners come with these little guide pins. The Wagners, I think, are marketed more towards the people who actually do remanufacturing calipers, because these guide pins are pressed in to the bore of the caliper casting, and you have to have some pretty decent machinery to push those out and then push new ones back in. If you want to try and do it with a screwdriver, be my guest. I've never done it, never had the need to, but the option's there if you do. These Wagner rear rear kits are around $12 a side, so you end up paying about $24, which is again saving you about $6 over the Motocraft hardware kit, but you lose out on a lot of the little extras. So if you're rebuilding old kits, if you're rebuilding old brakes, go with the Motocraft. If you're powder coating brand new kit, brand new calipers, say you've decided instead of sandblasting off all those nasty contaminants and rust, you'll just get some remans and powder coat or paint those. That's fine. In that case, just get these and use the hardware that your remanufactured calipers came with. That I highly recommend doing that, as that is the most economical way to do it. It's also good. These are also good if you've got to do one remanufactured caliper. That's about it for now. Again, later on I'll post a video of rebuilding calipers and such, and get into that, all the little stuff more in depth. But for now, thank you all, and thank you Funkadelic for Maggot Brain, which is a awesome song that you've been listening to. Goodbye.